China just proved that design still has the power to spark a buying frenzy because Apple's thinnest iPhone ever, the iPhone Air, sold out across major platforms in China within just a few hours. Not a Pro model, not a Max powerhouse, an ultra-slim variant with a smaller battery, and it still wiped out pre-order stock almost instantly. And here's the interesting twist. This explosive demand didn't happen in the US or Europe. While Western markets were curious, but not exactly rushing to buy it, Chinese consumers went all in the moment it launched. Why? Because for the first time ever, China approved eSIM-only smartphones, clearing the way for Apple to sell a SIM-free device. And that single regulatory change flipped the demand switch overnight. The iPhone Air entered the lineup as the sleek, experimental sibling to the iPhone 17 series. No iPhone 17 Plus this year. Apple instead used that slot to introduce something radically different, a design-first iPhone that prioritizes thinness over battery capacity. It starts at 7,999 yuan, or around $1,122 in China, and despite criticism about endurance, it became a status symbol almost instantly. Within just 2 hours of launch, Apple's official store and Tmall were listing multiple storage and color variants as out of stock. And that's important, not just because of sales numbers, but because it tells us where design trends are shifting. In China, ultra-thin devices are often seen as premium, elegant, and tech-forward. Owning something impossibly slim isn't just about convenience, it's a flex. The iPhone Air taps directly into that cultural preference in a way Western markets don't fully align with. The timing couldn't have been more perfect for Apple. The Ministry of Industry and Information Technology finally approved eSIM trials for smartphones, giving major carriers like China Mobile, China Unicom, and China Telecom the green light to activate numbers without physical SIM cards. That regulatory milestone instantly unlocked a new product category. Apple didn't just release a new iPhone, they became the first major brand to capitalize on the shift towards SIM-free hardware in the world's largest smartphone market. And with no SIM tray taking up internal space, Apple could push the design further than they have with any previous iPhone. The result is a device that looks more like a precision-crafted slab of polished glass than a traditional smartphone. It's minimal, refined, and definitely tailored to people who value aesthetics above sheer battery capacity. But that's exactly where the iPhone Air divides opinions. If you're the type of user that wants to squeeze 2 days out of an iPhone battery, this model isn't for you. It sacrifices battery size to maintain that impressively slim profile. People who love the Pro Max line and its endurance are likely going to look at the Air and move on. Even some reviewers openly admitted it's gorgeous, but personally wouldn't use it as a main device. Still, selling out in hours proves something. There's a market hungry for phones that feel futuristic and minimalist, even if that means giving up some practicality. And Apple knows that segment well. Just look at how the iPhone mini had its own cult following despite not being a mainstream bestseller. In the US, it starts at $999 with 4 color options: sky blue, light gold, cloud white, and space black, with storage going up to 1 terabyte. It's positioned as a premium lifestyle device rather than a performance flagship. And Apple isn't shy about it. The Air exists to make a statement. What makes this situation fascinating is how quickly the conversation around eSIM went from niche tech to a defining feature that shaped a product launch. In many regions, eSIM is just a quiet background feature. In China, its approval literally triggered a buying wave. That shows how much hardware potential is sometimes locked behind regulation and how fast things can move once those barriers are lifted. Personally, I get the appeal. The iPhone Air feels like a preview of where Apple wants to go. Thinner, lighter, more seamless devices, potentially leading toward a future with no ports, no buttons, and no visible openings at all. But for now, it also highlights a trade-off that Apple is testing. How much battery life are people willing to sacrifice in the name of design? Some will skip it without hesitation. Others clearly hit pre-order without blinking. And maybe that's the whole point of the Air, to test the appetite for a more radical form factor. If this model's success in China is any indication, Apple might double down on this direction, and we could be looking at a future where slim becomes the new premium standard. And when that happens, battery tech like silicon carbon could finally close the gap between ultra-thin design and all-day endurance. That's when a device like the iPhone Air will stop being a niche choice and start becoming the template for the next generation of iPhones. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.